Welcome back to the Delaware Way. I want to introduce you to the people behind and involved with the Newcastle County Police Department's new cold case unit. Of course, Colonel Elmer Setting, the Newcastle County Police Chief. Also, Tom Ozakowski, the Newcastle County Police Detective, who is now involved with the unit, and Glenn Davis, retired Newcastle County Police Department Sergeant, who is giving his years of experience and insight to the unit as a citizen investigator. We are talking specifically, they're dealing, was it fair to say you're dealing with one or two cases at a time because that's what you can put the resources into?
Exactly.
Okay. And so now we're dealing with the case of Jane Pritchard, and you went through some of the details of the case. Colonel, you said a moment ago that you aren't only looking at DNA, you aren't only revisiting some of the past evidence, you are also actively looking for new evidence. And if somebody may have seen something, I'll look at you, detective, since you are the detective on the case. What are you specifically looking for? When you're reaching out to people to come forward, who are you looking for?
Anybody that was at the park that day. There were several people there hunting. It was squirrel season. There was campers there. There was families having picnics. Anybody that could have seen anything remotely that would help us out. If you go to our website and look at the cold case file, there's a composite that was given by the original hunter. When he passed the victim, he advised that there was another hunter by the victim prior to him leaving. He assisted police in providing a sketch, and that's on our website.
And Sergeant, isn't it possible that years later, people that commit crimes tell somebody?
It is. That's the purpose of re-interviewing potential witnesses. Sometimes suspects want to clear their conscience and they end up telling somebody, thinking that it will remain confidential, and then you go back and re-interview your witness and you find out that new evidence or new statements have come to light in the case. So we also encourage anybody to come forward. You know, no information is too small. You know, whatever they have, we'd be more than glad to take a look at.
You started with the DNA, and you started with the advances in forensics. So to you at this point, as the Colonel just mentioned, is that the most important thing? Do you believe that there's going to be something coming back, or are you hoping that there's going to be something coming back from some of the old evidence with the new technology that's going to solve this case?
That is correct. It was a great place to start, is with the DNA. I mean, we have the evidence there. Send it out and see what we can get out of it.
Is it just a hair follicle?
I can't go into details of everything that it is, but there's evidence
You
there.
have more than that, though?
Yes, sir.
So there's a lot of DNA evidence. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
And that's why you feel, so you're going back, you look at this case, you go, holy cow, there's all this DNA evidence, we have new technology, we can probably solve this case.
Good probability.
When I know I'm asking questions that you can't answer, and I apologize, but just keep not answering them. I'm going to keep asking them. But when do you think that might come back?
Tests take a long time to process. It could take weeks, months to get that evidence back.
You seem confident.
There's a lot there and a lot to work with, so I'm hopeful.
Now, does that necessarily mean when you get DNA evidence back and it points to somebody that person's going to be, that you'll be able to find that person? I mean, like for instance, if it's not this hunter, let's just say, or somebody else that was at the scene that you know about, unless they've committed a crime, you might not have their DNA. Is that fair to say?
Well, it depends on which database it's run through, and we're going to run them through any and all available databases. It doesn't necessarily mean maybe I never committed a crime, but I was in the military, so my fingerprints are on file. Does that make any sense? There could be a different connection in the DNA file, or again, just other forensics that the detective can't really talk about. There might be other connections beyond just DNA that are usable to identify a suspect.
But it is very possible that this DNA evidence comes back and the case is still not solved, even though you have been able to find who this person should be based on the DNA, but you don't have them in a database.
It's a possibility.
You don't feel that way, though. I'm getting this sense that you have a pretty good feeling
I
that
don't think I want to play poker with you, Larry.
that you have a pretty good feeling that this is going to be solved. And believe me, I pray that that is the case for the family. You'd be doing a wonderful thing. We'll be coming back in just a moment to talk about how you can specifically get involved in this cases and in other cases. And I also do want to touch on the city of Wilmington, because I know you've been helping them out, and they have a great story to tell as well when we come right back.